Hi, I'm going to show you how you can use Dust to get messages out to burners. There's a bunch of different ways that we can do that. We can send push notifications out via the app. We can show newsletters. We can subscribe to emails that will send out into the messages section into the Dust app. We can even use an RSS feed, and I'm going to show you how you can use each of those options. So first of all, the most simple way is to go into the messages button here. And this is how we can send a message out as a push notification. That'll send that notification to everyone who has accessed the Dust app for your regional burn. So if we are putting in a message, we'll give it a title and a description. You can use this things like maybe lost child. This is a good example because you may lose the child and then you may find them again later. So you can send out the first message that they're lost and then send out a second one that they've been found. Another one might be when the burn time changes for a burn, or if something significant happens as well. It's important not to abuse this feature. Obviously people don't like notifications in general, but if you are messaging them a lot, they will get annoyed and turn it off. One thing that's worth noting is that it actually shows you how many users will actually receive this message. So it'll give you an idea of how many users are in Dust and looking at your burn. Once you hit send, that'll push out to all of the users and their phones. Obviously they need to have used Dust once before. That's the simplest option for messages. There are a few others that we'll go into. They can be found in the settings section. So if we scroll down here, and we'll see all of the communication options under these three different sections. Let's touch on Mastodon first. So if you don't know anything about Mastodon, it's a social network that's decentralized. So it works a little bit more like email than anything like Facebook. So non-commercial, and essentially you can do posts to your social account, and they will be shown up in the Dust application. So for example, you would put in your Mastodon username and then the Mastodon server that's associated with it. And then whenever you go in and create a post on Mastodon, it's going to appear in the Dust application under a tab called Messages. Now, in a similar way, you can also set up email. So the way that works is that you can subscribe or send an email to inbox@dust.events. So if you've got a newsletter that you email out to people, you can put in inbox@dust.events and subscribe. Whenever an email goes to that inbox, it'll actually appear for your burn. Now those come from an email address as well. So for example, let's take a look at one here. I've actually got one that is coming from Element 11, and it is coming from the Salt Shaker at element11.org. So if I wanted to set it up so that whenever an email comes from the Salt Shaker to inbox@dust.events, it comes up as a message in Dust, then this is how I do it. So that way you can essentially hook it up so it's automated, so whenever a newsletter email goes out, it's also going to go out to Dust users. Okay, next option, RSS feeds. This one's an interesting one as well. If you've noticed in a lot of emails, and like this example here, there's an option down here, view this email in your browser. If we click on that, you'll also notice there's a thing called an RSS feed. The RSS feed here is essentially a list of all of the posts. May look like code, but these are actually posts that have been sent out via your newsletter. And if we want to essentially hook up our newsletter, we can just paste it into here, apply it, and then anytime there are changes on our newsletter feed, then they'll be posted up into Dust as a message. Another good example of an RSS feed is Blue Sky. So in Blue Sky, it's a social network. You can actually go to your profile, and here I've got my profile for Dust, but if you put in /RSS at the end of it, hit enter, we've got an RSS feed of all the messages that I've posted up in Blue Sky. So again, I can copy that and paste it into here and hit apply. Close out. And what that'll do is it's going to essentially, anytime I post into Blue Sky, it is going to show up as messages in Dust. So there's a couple of different options that we can use messages that are coming from newsletters, emails, Mastodon, or just messages sent out to communicate with burners. Hopefully that's helpful. And take a look at some of the other burns in Dust. You'll see that little messages tab in the bottom corner where you can see this in action. Thanks a lot.